Welcome, everybody. Sorry for the delay. I am Karen Sepsimwall. I'm the Director of Cultural Arts and Adult Programs here at the Miami Beach JCC. It's exciting to see so many people tuning in from different parts of the country. So you're welcome. Please know that you can always join us virtually at our programs. We have a weekly lunch and learn program that this is a part of. We call it BYOL, bring your own lunch. I see that some people are eating their lunch, so that's wonderful. Judy Cummings, I see you. And we do run a very broad scope of programming throughout the year. And with the magic of Zoom, you're welcome to join us, as I said, from wherever you are. So thank you so much. Very excited for today's event. I actually met Catherine Manning on Lincoln Road a few weeks ago. She was at the Miami Food and Wine Festival pop-up event on Lincoln Road. I immediately walked over when I saw her there with her delicious food from Vong, the famous Vietnamese restaurant here in Miami. And when I saw that she had her new book that she was showing called Mango and Peppercorns, a memoir of food, an unlikely family, and the American dream, I said, please, would you come and do a BYOL program for us at the Miami Beach JCC, where stories of being an immigrant and being a refugee is very familiar to us in the Jewish heritage as well. And I thought that it would be something that would resonate with our audience. So I'm very excited to hear their story. And I do want to recognize and do a shout out to the chair of our BYOL program, Dr. Miriam Klein-Kasanoff, and to thank Baptist Health for their tremendous support in being our sponsor for our adult programs here at the Miami Beach JCC. So now I am going to hand it over to our host today, who will be conducting this interview. Kristen Bloom is the Executive Director and founder of the Refugee Assistance Alliance, which helps underserved refugees find the practical and language support they need to navigate life in their new homeland. It was actually Catherine's idea to invite Kristen, fabulous connection that we've made. And so I welcome Kristen Bloom, Kathy Manning, and Tung, I'm not going to try to say her last name, to the screen. And thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, Karen. And thank you, Kathy and Tung, for being here. I feel so incredibly honored to lead this discussion with you today. I feel like I know you after reading the book now, and someday I hope to give you a hug in person. In reading the book, I felt like I saw a lot of myself in Kathy, and I saw a lot of the refugee clients we work with in Tung. So I could relate to many, many aspects of the story.
Wow.
Before we start, I'm not sure how many people on the call are familiar with your story. They might be familiar with Vong, but maybe not who you are and how you got connected. So I wonder if you could take maybe 2 minutes to explain. I know it's a long story, but 2 minutes to explain who you are and how you got connected, and then I'll go into some other questions.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'll go first.
Yeah, you go first.
She has a voice now.
No.
In 1975, I was involved in resettling Vietnamese. One of my roommates at the university was Vietnamese. Her father lived next to the American Embassy in Da Nang, and she was one Vietnamese with all Americans. Then when they tried, everyone was escaping Vietnam when Vietnam fell. She asked me if I would sponsor her family, and I said yes. But because Da Nang was surrounded first, that family didn't get out, but one son got on the plane. If you're old like me, you remember seeing it on Living Color. You don't know anything about the people that are coming to your house. When you sign up, I signed up to resettle with the Lutheran World Relief. because my mother's Swedish, so where the Lutheran comes in there. And Tong was in Indian Town Gap, and they told her, where do you want to go? And she said, somewhere warm, because it was cold in the mountains up there and she was freezing. So anyhow, she ends up in Miami. But she ends up in Miami. I had gotten her job with the family and as a live-in maid, but she came pregnant. And so they decided that because she was alone, she spoke absolutely no English. She came from the country. She had never been to the doctor, never been to the dentist, never been to the hospital. They decided that she was too much for them. So here she was left. And when you take someone to the doctor or to the hospital and you wait hours, you get to know that person. And it was during those times that I got to know them. And I began to see what a strong lady, which you will find in the book, she is. She's a very strong, strong woman. And she was the lowest of the low in Vietnam. And that's not judging, that's just reality, right? And so because she was from the country, I'll let her say something about being from the country in Vietnam. What was it like in Vietnam being from the country?
What I like
What was it like?
in Vietnam.
Uh-huh.
Very.
So cry. Okay.
The country very boring.
Boring.
And the people happy.
People were happy.
Happy the people and everybody go work the farm. And the people happy the family in the farm. Very, very boring.
Okay.
Yeah.
Was there a way up for you?
Yeah, but I have to learn and they go up and have something and build up. Right for Rick. Right, go make the Rick something. Build up everybody.
She worked all her life. I mean, she worked. She came to my house and took over the kitchen and started cooking for all the Vietnamese. And they all knew it was her job, but she never sat down at the table. And I used to say, I didn't know the culture. I used to say, where's Tong? Where's Tong? And later, she's the first person at the table. She's still cooking. And yeah. Okay.
All right. Thank you. When you say Tung was working all of her life, I hope all of you go and read this book, you'll see from 6 years old, I think, Tung, you were cooking for your family, making bricks. I mean, it really is absolutely incredible. Before we get into some of the themes of the book, though, I wanted to start by saying thank you for sharing your story. I know from the refugees that we work with that it takes a lot of courage to share your story, and I can only imagine just from reading your story how difficult it was to relive some of those experiences. So thank you for your courage.
Wow, thank you. You enjoy. Thank you.
The book has very powerful messages about the power of connection, the yearning to belong, not fitting inside a box. You each said, we're not going to fit in this. We're doing our own thing. And I love it.
That's right.
Yeah.
It is about not pigeonhole people, not labeling them, but you know, whether you're labeled by your skin color or whether you're labeled by your position in society, this is not true. We need to look beyond. People, all people, if you get to know them, are something. In the beginning, my Vietnamese friend who I went to university with, told me not to talk to Thong, she won't understand. And that I had to talk to her because we had to go to the hospital, the doctor, the everything. And that's another story. You'll find out how we handled that.
Yes, exactly. So because I work with refugees and our work is really focused around supporting refugees when they come, I wondered, if you could talk a little bit about what it was like in the beginning. Many of our families tell us they had no idea about America. All they know about America is what they see in the movies or what they hear. And I think many Americans think when a refugee comes here, like, oh, great, now they're here, it should be so easy. But many of our families talk about how it's often the most difficult time of their life, even after everything they've been through to escape. So, Tong, I wondered if you could tell us a little bit about what was it like in those early days, and what do you wish people knew about the refugee experience and resettling?
Understand?
Yeah, oh my God, cái đấy là long tour. Long tour. Mà everybody and different.
Everybody different.
Everybody different. Different country and different city. Yeah. To me, in 1975, and I come here. And I lost my mind, and I meet my family. And they went to Guam, and I get
Guam.
And I get think, and I go, my goodness, why they tell me go here? Tell me go here, and I lost family and father, mother, and sister, and I bảo tôi đây, and I think and I go okay, and now what to do? And they come and took over the land Vietnam, and everybody ran, and they made run and said everybody, and go to Guam, mà Việt Nam no too cold, and Guam very cold. Very cool. I know. Oh my goodness. Why thou God sent me go here so cold?
Why did God send me someplace very cold?
Very cool. And I get there and oh my God. What is it? The coming? What is it coming and took over and the Vietnam and everybody ran. And one family Vietnamese in Tovega. Very quiet. Very quiet. Okay, everybody go. And I shut my mouth and okay, everybody go and long line and they eat dinner and eat lunch. About 2 weeks, 1 week, and everybody go to ship, go up in the ship, and I have to really back, and I go to the ship and I sit down. And I keep turn all the time. I now have the water. Too many people now have the water really needed. And I get out and everybody and the little girl and cry. Everybody cry. And the one old lady and her no makeup. And her pack go away on top of the book.
She died. Okay, and let me interrupt. When you came here, were there new things like the kitchen?
Everything new.
What was new?
Everything new to me. We don't know the gas stove.
She didn't know gas stove. She had never cooked on a gas stove or electric stove.
And Vietnamese they already cook the wood. A bamboo plant.
Yeah, bamboo they use. What else? Did you have refrigeration?
No freezer, no gas, no stove, no have nothing in Vietnam. And come here and I stay everything new to me.
Yeah, everything is so overwhelming because it's new and unfamiliar and you can't speak the language, and
Yeah,
yeah, it's
very
overwhelming is the word that we get a lot.
yeah.
Kathy, I'm wondering if you can tell us a little bit about, who you are as a person and what motivated you or what made you just say, yeah, yes, I'll help. Sure, I'll have all of these people living in my house. I mean, a lot of people wouldn't do that. So can you give us a sense of, who you are and what motivated you to do that?
Yes, okay. So I grew up in the Midwest, and my grandmother, who was Swedish, who went to the sixth grade, only the sixth grade, and they immigrated to Minnesota, where all the Swedes went. My mother, she took care of people. I mean, she taught me that each person, we should help each other. We should care about each other. We should look at each other as a person. Uh, and so uh, she was I don't know, she had foster children in her home. We counted over the years, she had 125. So this is what I saw all on Living Color, all these people climbing over the fence, trying to get on the boat, trying to get on the plane. And Way had come, the one brother had come, and I said, why not more? Why not set it up? So it ended up that I had every class from Vietnam that never would have been together in Vietnam, but were together in America. And that's why I think that we need to help each other.
Yeah, thank you. And then another thing I thought about throughout reading this book at Refugee Assistance Alliance, we focus a lot on English because we think that that's a main way to help these families, build their lives here. I'm wondering if Tung can talk a little bit about the role of English or not knowing English and kind of how that factored into her life.
Okay, so let me explain just a little bit. How did not knowing English affect you? How did it?
Very hard.
Very hard. Okay,
Very hard. Very tough. And sometimes people different. Everybody different. Everybody. Sometimes people like listen, and people no angry. But people no like listen, no like learn, very angry, mad, and everything. But sometimes people like learn and like listen, and what wrong and what right, and people very quiet and learn.
So what she's saying is that people, how they treated her, sometimes they were mad because she didn't speak English. Sometimes they listened and they got her, so she's talking about the reaction of people to her not knowing English.
Yeah, exactly. And one thing that we talk about a lot, we work with clients from the Middle East, Asia, and Africa because like Tung, they also don't speak Spanish. So in South Florida, not knowing English or Spanish causes a lot of, extra challenges and obstacles just in navigating your life. Kathy, I loved that you said you always spoke to her in proper English, in complete sentences. You never talked down to her. And I love that Tung said, just showing compassion and asking lots of questions and never giving up on her. Even if she couldn't answer or respond, she always remembered that and it meant so much to her.
Yes. So I never put her down. I never tried to manipulate her. In fact, I learned from her. in the beginning, it was so much fun because if you have someone who's never been on an elevator, never been on an escalator, I put her in English school at the Barry University, and I didn't know that she hadn't been to school. I don't know anything, so my job was just to get her in English school. And they called me halfway and that didn't think that she was getting it. And so I started doing homework with her and I understood she wasn't getting it. Then I learned that she had never been to school. I'm going to reference that with, because of the opportunities here, her daughter graduated from Harvard University and went to Cornell. And that, my friends, is an American story. This is what this country gives, and it must continue to give, that people have opportunity. You know, the Syrians come here, they have a different written, they don't have English. I mean, they don't have
A
the
Latin
Roman
alphabet.
alphabet. The
Right.
Vietnamese has Roman alphabet. So
Right.
that was and then later she went to Coral Gables High School at night for conversation, and she got it. But my job was driving the baby around the school while she was in class, and the baby was screaming. And one time this lady said, "Oh, she'll get used to you." But that was 1 year after. Fong Lin had never been away from her mother.
Oh. Yeah, it's amazing how much you push them to get involved in things and enroll them in different things and give them opportunities. Like you said throughout the book, a lot of times they just need opportunities, and sometimes the things we offer to refugees aren't accessible to many of them. And so, like you said, if she's never been to school before, that's true with a lot of our clients. Or if they're illiterate in their native language, it's incredibly difficult to learn a new language. So just working with her, each step of the way was very inspirational.
Exactly.
Learn about.
Go ahead.
Learn about chap and by chap.
Step by step.
Yeah, exactly. Step by step, you'll get there.
Yeah, you got that. But sometimes people, spend the people.
Depends on people.
Right, right.
Sometimes people the hand no go to and not no got it. And sometimes people the hands and they think and go to and make it.
Yeah, because what she's talking about is like Jacques Pepin said, we are all equal behind the stove. So when after all this getting organized and everything, Tom started cooking for Vietnamese, and they would come to this house, one Vietnamese home. And then one day a pot of soup spilled. And we said there's got to be an easier way. We didn't know that it wouldn't be that easy. So we found a small clothing store that was never a restaurant before. And we opened Vong. And it took us 2.5 years to get open. We didn't have money. The man, Charlie Riggenbach, who was my hero, is always my hero. He helped us. He helped me. He taught me how to build. And then she learned how to paint and sand. And we would put up the wall to the kitchen, and the city would come and say, "No, you have to have it fire ready." So we had to take it down, and she had to paint and sand on it. But it was, and then when people started tasting her food, and I tell you, her food is the best food I've ever had. Even it from Vietnam. I keep thinking of when I've been in Vietnam, I keep thinking about Tong's food.
I loved that part of the story when you said when you went to Vietnam, everything you tasted, you thought Tong can make it better.
That's it. That's it. That is true.
I love that.
And yeah, go ahead, Kristen.
I was just going to say, Kathy, you mentioned many times throughout the book you had so much to learn about Vietnamese culture and the cultural nuances. I find that to be so true in our work. We work with people from many different countries, and I think even within the same country, a lot of times we assume, oh, they're all from Vietnam, they'll get along, or they're all from Syria, they'll get along. And a lot of times it takes many mistakes before we learn those lessons. I'm wondering if you can talk a little bit about some of those lessons you learned and how that.
Actually, she taught me a lot. Here I am learning
now
from.
Kathy nói chuyện. Kathy.
No, but she taught me a lot about how to listen, not to assume that you are right, but that if you listen, they have ideas and thoughts. She also taught me what was important. For her, important was cooking food that people love. She felt so good when she presented a meal. She never compromised her food. Even however mad she was at me, she never compromised her food. And she was not ambitious. I mean, I was ambitious. I wanted to make a big restaurant. I wanted to have a line with chefs. I wanted her to be a celebrity chef because she's as talented as them. But it wasn't her. And I had to learn that that's not her. And what she is good. Is good. Just like what I am is good. We don't have to change. So I learned that it's okay that she's the only cook. It's okay that she takes pride, because this was her self-esteem. This was really.
I learned a lot.
I learned a lot.
No.
She thinks she taught me a lot, but I haven't told her that I knew a lot before I met her.
I don't know how to listen. Oh my God, what wrong and what right? No. But now
I love
a lot better. I want you to hear that. She said now a lot better.
Oh, good. See, you're making progress.
Mua ha.
She's still working on you, Kathy.
Good. I like you say that. Did you hear that?
Okay, that's all right. I think sometimes in the book I'm the villain. Okay, sometimes but I said, okay, let her have her voice. But she's in the book. You will see that sometimes I'm the villain, and that's all right because it's her viewpoint, my viewpoint, and Lynn's viewpoint.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, but that's what makes it such a beautiful story, because the story is not all sunshine and rainbows. There are a lot of really difficult parts to read. And I think that that's what makes it such a beautiful story, that, despite all of these challenges and disagreements and things that you faced, you're still here and you could move beyond all of that. And I think it says a lot about all three of you and who you are as strong women.
Wow.
So, Kristen, we do have some questions coming up that may be appropriate to ask now, just as we're on the topic of the restaurant, in particular. Mindy wanted to know where you learned how to cook. Was it, in Vietnam? Did you grow up cooking as a young person? Where did you learn?
Oh, got a long story. And in Vietnam, leave the country, and Vietnam people die.
The Day of the Dead, when people die, the day that they die, you have you commemorate, we would say, so you have a party, right?
And the family, the day
Family,
of the family. and my grandma told me, nó kêu, Tùng, look something cook. Cái my hand go up and oh my God, what did I cook, grandma? What did I cook? And nó kêu, look something cook, curry, chicken, duck, something. Then I okay. Okay, now I go here. And I cook, I go here and cut one duck and one chicken. And I cook with potato, the outside the front. And I then go inside, I cut chicken, and I cook potato.
How old were you?
Oh, about 6 years.
6 or 8? Yeah.
6 years. Yeah, 6 years I start to cook ready.
Yeah,
And
go ahead.
yeah, and I cook my grandma, and I ready. And I told her, Grandma, I ready cook. You sure? And I said, yes, okay, you taste. And her taste, her nugget. Wow, good. Good. And I told her, okay, go ahead. And her cooked to me all year. And every party and call Tùng, go cook party. No, come on. I go work the Rick. I go work the Rick.
On farm.
And the farm. And I go, okay, one day off, go cook party. Mà cái bà cô Việt Nam make party every 2 months, 3 months.
They have family gathering. But I'm going to interject here. Her father died, and Tong is the oldest. So the mother has 7 children, and she's one of them. And so she is responsible for the children. Now, the Vietnamese will sometimes give the children away when the father dies because they have no way of supporting them. And also they will take the next boy. The boy is very important in Vietnam. But the next boy was blind from smallpox. Tong had smallpox as a child. He had smallpox and he was blind. Anyhow, so she started selling soup on the street, and she made good money. And her mother didn't have to give anybody away. People were eating her soup. And then she told her mother, there's more money in Saigon. I can make more money. So she went to Saigon and she sold soup on you have a pole and you have bowls and you sit down and you eat. It's eating fast, you sit down and eat. And that's what she did. And that's why she was in Saigon when the communists took over Da Nang and that region. So she started cooking. Many times in the restaurant, people would ask me what cooking school she went to. And I would just laugh. I would laugh because, but she has a way with food. If you watch her work, it's like a ballet. She feels the food. And she never compromises her food. Now I let her finish.
And you fool, and what I cook it, what I feel my mouth good, and I like everybody eat same good, same me. And I tell the restaurant what I cook, and people, my God, go wow, food so good, and finish every day. Get to me busy, and I cook it. I'm so happy, and my mind is more open and more relaxed, and more learn America.
That's a very good point. What she's saying is that as she began to, I watched this step by step, and I was always very proud of her at each step. She gained confidence. She gained self-esteem by her cooking. And it really was that made her know that her home is America. she had opportunity here that she wouldn't have had in Vietnam.
That's really beautiful. And it throughout the book too, it's obvious that food is the way she communicated with people. When she talks about how her English, you know, she was still working on it and couldn't always express herself the way she wanted. It was obvious throughout the book that her food was the way she showed love and communicated. And I think it's also clear in the book how incredibly talented she is to taste something and say, I could make that, or I could make it better. And I was amazed. I mean, I wish I love to cook, but I need to follow a recipe. Exactly. I wish I had that where she doesn't measure, she just feels and tastes and says, it needs this or it needs that. I was laughing so hard when she made macaroni and cheese.
Yeah, it's her. That's it.
But yeah, I loved it. Somebody asked, I think you answered this a little bit when you mentioned the soup spilling in the car, but what was it that made you both want to open the restaurant?
Why did you want to open a
Why
restaurant?
to open the why? Before leaving the rice and coconut roll and cook the soup and before no have money, no nothing. And I need little bit money to little girl and buy diaper, buy food or something. And I cook food, cook soup at home. And on each side the car and got it right. The native right coconut roll go there 37 afternoon and
Yeah.
city. And the soup not fall, go inside the car. Every time I go home and clean, I know, oh my God, I'm too tired. I'm too tired clean the car and took out and clean the dishwasher, everything. Okay, too much work. I work everything. And I asked Kathy, I know, maybe the day finish early. And the right cow go round and look. And Kathy right cow go to 8 day, right? 8 day and turn 16. And Kathy saw the one room. And so right. But before me don't know that right. That's so right, me don't know. And I asked Kathy, no, what is it right here? Kathy, no, oh, so right. You know, okay, she start to look. And Kathy go ahead, go look, and they ask her friend. And they make the restaurant. Yeah. Mà về thì xin vào restaurant hát the whole. And by year, by month, by week. And to go big. Everybody loved the way long line the restaurant. I so happy.
It didn't get that big. It was 40 seats. Okay, that's as big as we
Yeah,
got.
people laying outside.
Oh, the people wait.
Yeah,
The people said, I'll wait here, Kathy, but I won't wait anywhere else. But then, you know, the story of Hai Vong, the restaurant, is a story in itself. Because I mean, you had to play according to my rules when you came to the restaurant. And so we explained what it was like. You waited sometimes an hour or 2 hours to get in, and then you waited for your food. But through that, people began, we didn't have music. People had to talk. You don't know how many couples got married after eating at Hai Vong because they had to talk. They didn't have any other thing to do but talk. And in fact, we had several times they put a ring in a brownie to engage for engagement.
Hai Vong, funny.
And sometimes I would serve a squid, and I'd come back out and it would be down the tables to another table. And evidently the people down there were hungry and they wanted to taste it, and everybody shared and everybody talked and everybody accepted each other as what they were. They were people. You know, it wasn't, we had blacks and whites and we had, but the Vietnamese were really hard. It took a long time for the Vietnamese. They would see me in the front we would set up a big table with 12 because the families are big. They give them menus and everything, and they see me and they get up and leave because they weren't they weren't used to it. But I never took it seriously. That's okay. So I used to place bets with the busboys. I say, okay, I'll bet you $1. They're gonna leave, right? But eventually, through the years, I began to speak Vietnamese, and I would joke with them. And I'd say, okay, try this. If you don't like it, you don't have to pay. And this would drive her nuts because she doesn't cook for free. She cooked for money, but she cooked for love.
You sure?
Yes.
Make money and to live.
Make money to live. Right.
That's right.
Oh, I was different. We're different in this way.
I keep alive.
So
yeah, it seemed like the restaurant was definitely a reflection of the two of you and your sense that everybody belongs. You mentioned in the book, we don't care if you're a celebrity or your status. We just look at you for who you are, just a person.
Right. That's it. Even when Fong Lin came, she was going to Harvard and she'd come home. And I tell her, sign in. We had a paper by the door that you had to sign in yourself, okay? And so she didn't get any special treatment. When she came, she signed in just like everybody. And I didn't know who anybody was, and I was happy not knowing, because knowing me, my lawyer used to say she's blatantly honest. So, and then one time a guy said to me, Kathy, you know what you just did? And I said, no, what did I do? You just told one of the city authorities that Burger King was down the street. So there were rules. And when you came, but if you made it, that's why we have two t-shirts that says, I am one of the strong. I ate it, Hai Vong.
Oh, I love that. A lot of people who've been to Hai Vong are chiming in saying, this is bringing back so many memories. It was such a fun place. Everybody did talk, and Kathy definitely had her rules. I wanted to ask Tung another question about her journey to becoming an American. Now she's been in the country, I think, 46 years or so. Even from the beginning of the story, she said, I fought for my place to belong. I would face this country my way. I felt good about myself as an American, but I never forgot where I came from. And then towards the end of the book, we talk about the trips back to Vietnam and realizing I no longer belonged to that family and that community. Now the US is where I belong. So I'm wondering, kind of how the transition came about, and when did she feel I made it, I belong?
Thank you, God.
Thank you, God. That in Vietnamese, that's Troy. Troy is God, or Yahweh was God, or so go ahead.
Yeah, I say so far different people, different. Change the Vietnam country, and the people different. Everybody different. To me, I don't know why me and how the đứa Việt Nam
out of the dirt. I mean, she's saying that. Go ahead.
Right, and they come to the dirt USA.
The dirt USA.
And nó keep me share the mind. Keep me share the mind. And I keep think and I keep roll by day, by week. And America. Messi America. And sometimes Vietnamese are out. And they ask me, oh my God. Why? America this, America that. And I thought I not to look. You know what? The đứa in Việt Nam, you own đứa Việt Nam. Look at the commoners go in and you lost everything. No belong to you over there. You come to the America. You say you leave the house in America. Okay, you buy house belong to you. My aunt belong America, USA. Why you complain all the time? You know, you heard what you do me? You crazy. I thought me crazy. I thought me crazy. You think about why you crazy? Why you told me crazy? Okay, I eat right America. I go popular from this city. I should let them talk about America. I am America. Yeah, free. We're here free. Còn Việt Nam, no free. Everything change your ball. You know, change your ball and inside you can't open. You can't open. Stuck inside. Vanilla, what do you call?
You're stuck in the bottle or in the bowl. That the sides are slippery. There's no way up.
No way up.
No matter how hard you work.
Somebody asked in the questions, is it a caste system in Vietnam?
What is that?
Somebody asked in the questions, is it a caste system in Vietnam?
No.
Yes.
I go Vietnam.
No, but let me answer that one. Yeah, because she doesn't understand. And I say it lovingly. I don't criticize, you know, just like we have a caste system here too, you know. So yes, there is a caste system in Vietnam. When the country is low,
and very low,
right? And there's no way up because they, you know, part of the culture is that if you don't work with your hands, you leave it for the peasant, and so that is the way it is. So you can't. You cook soup and you sell all day and you make money, but it's good money for the country, but it's not a lot of money. Okay.
Somebody wants to know, Kathy, are you fluent in Vietnamese and how did you learn it? Did you go to school for it? Is it a difficult language to learn?
Okay, it's not a difficult language to learn. It has a Roman alphabet. It was Romanized by the Portuguese priests in the 15th century. So, because not everyone goes to school. So you have 5 accents, etc. So when we started communicating, we had to use hands, we use, you know, and then we started using half Vietnamese, half English, okay? And then I began to hear with her friends or stuff. I heard Vietnamese all the time. Am I fluent? I am fluent in hearing. I am fluent in reading. I am not fluent in talking because you have 5 accents. And it depends if you go up or you go down, what you're saying. You can say Chúc mừng năm mới, which is Happy New Year, or you can say Chúc mừng năm mới. I have to see, going down is hard. That's Happy New Nose. So what you, the accent is very important. So I read Vietnamese because it is like Spanish. If you hear it, it is.
Yeah. All right. Can we ask whose idea was it to write the book?
Whose idea was it to write the book? She wanted her voice. Okay, go ahead.
All right, Tongue.
Thank you. Oh my God, too hard I thought. I don't know. I did wrote the book.
Why did you want to write a book?
I worked at a restaurant. and I cook myself every single day. And I keep thinking and keep thinking, cook. How do people keep cook food good? I eat what I eat, and people eat taste good, same me. And I think that oh, one day maybe, and wrote a book. And the people, and I don't know America, around the world, country people Việt Nam. Country Vietnam and the people a lot of money, and not like the people country go up, mà nó come to United States, mà nó no sense, nó keep one way and như Việt Nam, còn nó people country come here, nó no like look, nó no like nó look way low. Mà ai nó che cả thế ý thì tiền ai nó có okay. One day, hay one month, hay one year, I don't know when. And I have to write book. I have to write book, and the people see the book and where I am, where I grow up, and the people learn. Còn money on top the finger, and the work make anything, make okay. But very important, and to learn how to live around the world.
Okay, important to learn how people live around the world.
Sometimes people I hear Vietnamese come here, lot of Vietnam, lot Việt Nam, lot everything, and come to United States, come like all the time, come like America, this America, đó tụi nó có lớp. Come on, welcome America, and the Vietnam love country, and the North and took over already, and now welcome America, how to learn how to go, xem như baby learn, you cry, you fight, you yell, no matter, you learn, how to learn, and not no like talk to me again.
They don't like it. But when we went back to Vietnam after 20 some years, right? When we went back, we were free with each other. I mean, we knew each other. And so when we went, the second time the government allowed me to stay in the country, they hadn't allowed anyone to stay in the country with Thong's family. So I felt free. I felt like Thong and I know each other, and I didn't have to act any different than I act with Thong. So we had a lot of times we joke and we play, and that one day a lady was carrying a stick with sweet potato leaves to feed the pigs. And I said, I want to try to carry it. And we had all the kids around, they were howling, they were laughing at watching me try to pick up that thing. It was heavy on the pole, one sweet potato on the back, one part. And then with the mother, I did the rice and, I tried everything. I wasn't afraid to try. And actually, to tell you the truth, I did better than she did after 25 years.
Oh my goodness.
I was a Girl Scout. I knew how to boil water to take a shower. No big deal. I was, because I was a girl, she, after living in America, she wanted to put in one of these French things that heats the water, and before she took a shower. I said, don't, come on, just heat the water, do it. So knowing each other made it easier for us to know them and for them to know us.
Yes. Yeah. It all comes full circle. You guys are open-minded, just always looking to make sure everybody belongs, find the common ground. I mean, there are so many points in the book where you can see that you're always looking for our shared humanity, and it really is so beautiful. There are
Thank
couple
you.
more questions, Karen. I don't know I don't want to be respectful of people's time. Somebody asked if she saw her family again. Yes. I highly, highly, highly recommend the book. I'm getting it for everybody I know. It's amazing.
I cannot wait to read it too. I have it right here as well. And I love, you know, sort of ending on that note of you know, our shared humanity and making connections and finding our common ground and doing it through food, you know, is a really great vehicle. You know, and it also happens to be delicious but it fills our soul as well as our palate and our stomachs.
Wow,
So I think that
thank
is
you. Keep me
just
happy.
wonderful. And people want to know, by the way, where they can get your food still. There is a pop-up. Do you want to quickly tell us about how we can still enjoy your food even though Hai Vong as a restaurant is no longer there?
Okay, so
Okay.
tell them how you, we had pop-up, but then COVID came. So now we are doing pickups. We're taking off this month because we have some events to sell our book. But I'll let her tell you about the pickup. Pickup.
Học.
Okay, talk.
Cái vô talk first. Cái đó vô chợ.
So we set up a menu,
Yeah.
right? And we put it up on haivong.com. And you have choices of entrees. And you push on the picture and you put it in your cart and you pay and you pick a time slot to pick it up. And so what happens is that we cook at a church. We bring it because of pickup traffic and right. We bring it home. It's all packed, and they just drive by, and we have someone put it in the car. So there, it's COVID safe. Okay, everybody wears masks who puts it in, so we change the menu all the time. And people email me or text me and say, Kathy, I want to have spicy fried chicken. And I have to figure out how to do spicy fried chicken that they take home and it's still crispy. Mm-hmm. And we did it. I found out. You can see I collect cookbooks.
But you have to be a Miami local. You don't ship to say, I don't know, where people are tuning in from different places. So there's no way to get your food unless you're here in Miami, correct?
Okay. Say that again, Kristen.
You don't ship out of state. I mean, you're not sending food outside of Miami. You have to be a local.
Okay. So we can ship it. We can ship it with dry ice. And I did that. We shipped it to Chronicle, actually the people who published our books, because we wanted to push them a little bit that, yeah, the food is good. You know, the food is good. So we did that. And we can do it for people if they go online and then they text me and say this is for, you know, they put the address and we can do it. We can do it.
All right, there's another question about if there are any options for delivery if they pay extra. And one final burning question is, will you ever open another restaurant? And if so, when? Because everybody wants to go.
Yeah, we will open up pop-ups again when COVID is over. In fact, we have a black church in Coconut Grove that we did for food for the food bank, and they loved our food. They loved my brownie, okay? The desserts are good at Hai Vong. So I said after COVID, they have a reading program. And so we're gonna do a pop-up at their church, and everyone, the way that Hai Vongers get in, they don't have to pay, but they will donate books for the pastor's reading for the kids in the summertime, okay? And so to do day in, day out restaurant is, I'm 76, Thong is 70. Actually, she's 75, but she's 73 on paper, but they registered the birth 2 years after. After. So she's 73. And so I think there comes a time when we need to teach you all to cook. And the cookbook, let me just tell you some clues. You make her stock. Don't compromise on stock. And her stock is used as enhancement in everything. So use her stock. There are the menus in the recipes in the book are good. They are not always quick, but it's worth the effort. It's worth the effort. And anyone can do it because I do it. Okay. Not as good. No.
Amazing. So we get to read your story, and also there are recipes in the book. So you can get your book at booksandbooks.com. I did put the link in the chat. Also, there is a link to the Refugee Assistance Alliance. .org. Please check it out and support that wonderful organization. I want to thank Kristen for such a fabulous interview. So she had not a lot of time to read the book beforehand, so she really did her homework and was fabulous. And this was just a wonderful, inspiring, and lovely conversation. And I am in awe of everything that you've been able to accomplish and do. It is a story everybody needs to hear. So we want to wish you such good luck in this new endeavor of your new book. And Kathy, it looks like you had something that you wanted to add real quick. So please do. I don't want to cut you off.
No, I'm okay. I wanted to say that the Refugee Alliance Association is ones who are not just have a good philosophy, but are doing the hard work. And they are present. And this is what we need. We need people present. And they are doing it. So if you have some money, give it to them and let them do their job. Okay, that's all I want to say.
Thank you, Kathy.
Thank you for being such an important part of our Miami community. We're lucky that you chose to come to America, Tom. So thank you for being part of our community.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Kathy and Thong.
Yeah,
Thank you.
It was an honor. I can't wait to meet you in person.
Yeah, soon, okay?
Soon.
Give me your address and we'll send you food.
Oh, yes, sure. I will do that.
I will take that. I will take you up on that offer as well.
Okay.
Will you send some to California?
We'll find out. Okay, bye.
Bye.
Thank you.